And it's time for the Buffalo Bulls offseason in college football 25. We're on to season 3 this year. Welcome to the stream, everybody. I'm late. I was almost late again trying to get things set up and having an issue here with my microphone. But what's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Buffalo Bulls Dynasty on college football 25. Sorry for the 15-minute delay, but in my defense, I took too long coming home, so I'm here now. We have gone through 2 years in the Dynasty, and it's been a rough ride to this point. 3-9 to 4-8 from year 1 to year 2. And where do we go from there? I think we have some excellent players coming in. We have a lot of good players that were redshirted this year. We either got a brief look or no look at them. But I do believe in our process right now. It has been, a challenging first 2 years. We've yet to win back-to-back games. We don't have a lot of stability, but I think the foundation has been laid. I want to see how far behind you guys are. Give me a Darnold in the chat. Give me a Sam Darnold, your number 1 quarterback of the year. All right, that's not too bad. Not too bad. Buffalo winning the MAC. Thank you, Chris, for the 68-month membership. Nearly the nicest membership of all. Keep it up, Kane. Love the series and the pace. Yes, the pace has been great to knock out a season in a month's time in real life. That's going to give us a chance to reach the peak of this series and not have to do it in June of next year and rush to get stuff out before the next game were to come out. So the pace has been great. I'm really happy with that. But how about the pace of progress? How about actually being able to get some more wins and some more promise here in the MAC? That's what's on, hopefully on deck for year 3. More conference success, a chance to compete for a conference title. It's a stretch from being 4-8 to vault up to being a conference contender. But I do think we have enough good pieces in place to put us at least in the conversation. Even if we fall short, I don't want to fall short by 4 games. Now, I think I made the mistake again, because it changed in college football 25 from NCAA. I have not gotten new coordinators for this year, and I think I'm past the point where I'm able to hire them. I think it's conference championship week, which I simmed past to get, final records and everything for this year. So we are in the off season, but I don't think there's any way for me to add coordinators from here. I don't have a previous save, no. Because I realized it when I saved both my main save and my backup file. So, coordinators might be coming in year 3. I'll have to make sure I remember. Let me save a new file for Buffalo year 3. Yeah, it's very odd how that works in this game. There's one time they want you to do it, but they don't have a staff week to do it. Been a rough 2 seasons, but I know soon Buffalo will be a powerhouse in the MAC. That's right, from the MAC and beyond. We'll see what's next. But, yeah, it's rough here with these coordinators not giving us much of a boost. So, this is all we're getting right now. A little bit of master motivator tree progress. It ain't much. It ain't much at all, guys. More XP when a player levels up. So that's kind of the only perks we have access to right now. But hopefully I can remember and have that for next year. Let me put it in my file I have where I keep notes for the series. And I'll Is it conference championship week? There. I put, remember to fire coordinators in conference championship week, you dummy. Hopefully I remember. Just got in. Anything important I missed? No, I was late, so you haven't missed much. Will I keep Buffalo in the MAC all the way? I wouldn't expect to. I'd like to move them to a Power 4 conference one day, but that is not today. It is not tomorrow. We'll get there when we get there. I've been getting a lot of questions about sliders and whatnot, and they haven't really been changing. Here's what I've been playing on this season. I don't know if I'll have to change anything for next year, as I am on a new update, and usually a new update causes us to, adjust some sliders, but the most recent update didn't do anything. Or the second most recent update didn't do anything, so I feel pretty good about them not dramatically changing things and allowing us to kind of craft sliders and not have to do it every time a new update drops. Where is Cardinals franchise? I recorded earlier today. Expect the video tomorrow. I know y'all are wondering about Saints as well. Some of you will remember the Saints franchise. I've been working on it. I am probably going to be bringing it back within the month of September. But one side project I was working on the last week or so is a video coming on the second channel I'm planning on Friday. The video is like 80% complete. It is a Minnesota Vikings Madden 25 rebuild. It's going to be over an hour long, and it's like completely edited, and you're going to see me go through the journey of building up the Minnesota Vikings. So that's a fun video I've been working on the side. That'll come on Friday. But back to Buffalo. I'm excited for year 3 because I don't have to replace all of the core players. We lose Nolan Ziegler. We lose Matt Pajust. But check out all the juniors. We should have a fair amount of 80-plus overall players and try to pocket some of these overalls in your head, because when we get to training, we're going to see where players go, and it doesn't really tell you this player went up 4 overall, this player went up 3. If you can't remember, then you can't remember, and you just have to accept whatever the number is. What I want to see here is, Dexter Lawrence, welcome to Minnesota. Don't tempt me with a good time. I would love to see Dexter Lawrence in purple. But the development at quarterback, Richie Watts, the junior. Does he take a big leap? Or do we end up in a situation where playing a true freshman is actually the best idea? It does show the jump when. I didn't see it. Let's enter the coach carousel here as we get the offseason underway. Obviously, I'm not going anywhere, but I'd like to see maybe what some of the openings end up being. There's only one head coach opening right now. It's not doing anything. I don't know. Doesn't really matter. There isn't a whole lot to talk about in the college football offseason. Coach Carousel is just one of those things you could put some time on. One thing I didn't really cover, though, was the college football bracket in the last video. But here's what we've had. You know, last stream, we talked a lot about Charlotte. Because I'm like, I didn't realize that was a pickaxe in their logo, and I thought it was an airplane. And they pop up now as the 4 seed in the playoffs. So shout out to the Charlotte 49ers. They are like the odd one here. Tulane, is that one weird? Maybe Tulane has some players. I know Tulane's got a good running back. Isn't their quarterback pretty good too? The Charlotte Jet Airliners. That's my like headcanon name for them. Yeah, shout out Tulane. They're pretty good. And then just as a reminder, here were the max standings to show you where we finished this year. Only 3 and 5, so closer to the basement than we are the ceiling. And we'll see where we go from here. Let's get on to it. Early National Signing Day, so we don't want to skip past this stuff. We don't have any hours to spend right now. We do land Alfonso Magnifico, who is somebody we scouted in the off-season stream last time around. We currently have a class that ranks pretty average, which for a 0-star program is really good. To be 74th, I prioritize 3 stars. We have 1 2-star, and then we're going to see what the portal ends up offering us, which isn't available quite yet. I can't even really do anything right now, but with the board that I currently have, there are a couple players I still hope to get. We got Anton Claypool, the gem 1-star safety, Trent Matlock, Brenton Lampman, a safety, Simon Gladstone, and Jalil Calloway. That one has gotten a lot closer than it used to be. Oh yeah, you want to see dev traits? That's a good idea. Let's go through that now. I gave you 1 last episode. I gave you 1. Logan Clinkscale, the tight end, has impact development. Sean Prochet, the slot receiver, route runner archetype, normal development. Yeah, I can't see him playing outside with 65 release and only 86 speed. So, slot receiver, backed out on accident. Oh, I already forgot to fire my coordinators. It's too late. Yeah, 1-star gems. I wasn't sure if those were a thing really either. Ray Elway, star development. And there's a chance he is a day 1 starter. If Richie Watts doesn't develop very much and we don't do anything massive in the portal, his accuracies aren't ideal. But we have to play whoever's best. And that means, like, you know, the best option for getting us out of this 0-star purgatory and to help us get as many wins as possible. Now, if Elway is a little bit lower than Elway, or if Elway is a little bit lower than Watts, I'd be willing to play him early to get development and hope by the end of the year that it all ends up being a situation where that total package is better with Ray Elway. Enrique Trejo has star development. He's a deep threat receiver, 95 speed, 73 release, and 79 catching. Those hands are actually pretty good, considering a lot of players at our level of program are going to have a lot worse hands than that, which you probably got to get familiar with last episode. A lot of bad drops. Chauncey Baptiste, star dev guard. We had 1 elite player in Season 1's recruiting class. Nobody at star. We already have 3 stars. Antoine Berryman has normal. Artie Ernsberger has normal. Alfonso Magnifico has impact. And Cortez Shed has impact. Happy with that class in progress. Yeah, I wanted to show you actually those catching ratings. Like, 79 on the surface is not going to sound good. But it's all about comparison in that context. Here are the best catching ratings on the team. 98 to a 93. Those are defensive players, guys. Charles McCarthrans. We can move our cornerbacks to receiver and probably be better off. But Morrow, 88. Savion Brown again. Why do we have the best hands in the secondary? Then we're already low 80s by the time we get to tight end. So when you're talking a 3rd or 4th receiver, yeah, 75 and under is going to be what you deal with. Messiah Birch, 67. All right, next week. Appreciate y'all being here. I know it's a little bit different. We get Lampman. I appreciate y'all being here. I know it's weekday. It's not evening, so I don't usually do streams around this time. But a lot of the information I have has told me that y'all are on YouTube a lot less on Saturdays. So I'm focused a lot less on Saturday streams and uploads until the data shows me otherwise. So I didn't want to delay it either. Like, I'm ready today. View job offers. What do we got here? Lampman lights them up. Let's go. That would definitely be... You know, I think I would have thought of that on my own. I'll have to credit you. I love the Buffalo jerseys. They're really nice. And as someone who loves that blue and black color scheme, it's like the Georgia Force of arena football. Like, it just looks good. I don't think anything else in this stage. Kane, what if you get fired? I have firing set to CPU only. Jaleel Callaway. That's another one. Yeah, if I go into managed staff, I can't really do anything with these guys. I can only do it during conference championship week, which when I'm going through the end of the year and trying to get us to the off season, that's kind of, you know, along the way, so it's easy to miss. I did want to change our coordinators, but I screwed that up and didn't have a save point to reload. I have 10 points to spend right now, but I think that's probably going to be for the next season. I'll worry about it then. I haven't gotten to spend any points in a while. Any players make all conference teams? Yeah, we had a few. Anton Claypool joins. We had a few. Not many. We're at National Championship Week. For the all-conference players, though, it's a pretty short list. For first team, we had Nolan Ziegler and Nick Reed. Second team, Matt Pajust, Deion Crawford on defense. Leon Dingle, Quentin Pollard, though, freshman all-conference. Where's the love for Oliver Bridges and the 4 interceptions? That was the best part of the early season's portion, was seeing him make plays. Here's your bracket. Looks like we have a good title game this year. It's Bama and Oregon. Man, Charlotte got stomped 52-7. So nobody from the MAC made it in. I wonder how Bowling Green's bowl went, though. They were really good in that finale. I don't want to hear anything about Sam Darnold, man. Didn't do anything for us. I'm not a bitter, sad Panthers fan at all. Man, the Panther fans were down bad last year, and to get crushed by the Saints in the first game of the year is just cruel. The Saints, like, were predicted to be as bad as the Panthers in a lot of ways. It didn't look like it. It's gotta go up from here. The Packers, not this year, but in many years under Matt LaFleur, they've had complete stinkers in week 1. You better hope that that's true for Dave Canales and that it gets better from there. Are y'all not going to give me the bowl results here? When do I get bowl results? These games are already played. I guess score and schedule. I wanted to see Bowling Green because they were kind of that team to beat, and they got beat by Georgia Southern. Shout out to them. That's where Jerick McKinnon played quarterback, I believe, when they upset Florida like 8 years ago, or maybe longer, because McKinnon's been in the NFL for a long time now. What year was that? We also lost Derek Brown for the year. Yeah, that is just insult to injury to lose your probably the best player on the entire roster at the same time. Hey, Kane, hope you're having a good day. I am, as a matter of fact. Please remember to root for the Boilermakers this weekend as they take on Notre Dame in the Battle of the Shillelagh. I don't know how to say that word, but Purdue and Notre Dame. Notre Dame's coming off a bad week, too. I always worry, when you run into that team coming off the loss, the surprising loss, do they come out hungry? And what's going to happen with Riley Leonard? The storylines already in college football this year are pretty good. It was 2013 when Florida lost to McKinnon. Thank you. And clearly it's gotten a whole lot better for Florida in recent years. Oh, boy. See, I grew up, Miami was really good. They were the bad boys of college football. Florida was really good. I mean, the most iconic team of the late 2000s, I'd say, was like the Tebow era Florida Gators. And like college football is so much better. They need to be good. Like those two Florida teams need to be good. Texas needs to be good. They, of course, are. But I want to see like Ohio State, Michigan, Texas, Florida, Miami, all good at the same time. 1 star! Yes, it's back! I really wasn't sure if 4 wins was going to do it. It was a nerve-wracking situation, guys. But we did it. The rebuild. It's funny because, like, it's hard enough starting off with the 1-star team in year 1. But we take a step back from that, and I have to rebuild even that starting point just to go into year 3, kind of like back where I started. That's funny. Can the recruiting class boost your prestige? I didn't think about that. I was only thinking about on-field stuff. Oregon defeats Alabama. I just want to see that Oregon roster quick. Who's going to the draft on Buffalo? Whoever's got tickets, because I don't think anyone's getting taken. The quarterback is Dante Moore, and he could come back for another year. You had an upgrade to pro potential? That could be good news then. And maybe somebody will get taken. Are there any 0 stars? Excellent question. Last year, there were 2. Louisiana Monroe stands alone as the only 0-star program in college football. Now, here's our new category. Got any out-of-conference ideas for this year? I know y'all are going to say your favorite team. Kane, play UNLV. I'm looking for reasons. Old Dominion. I never realized in the ODU logo that, like, the letters are, like, the O is at an angle there. Syracuse, in-state rivalry, that's what I'm talking about. We played Minnesota last year. I think Syracuse is like that same kind of game. Like middle of the pack college football team, but a lower level Power 4 team. I love to take on Syracuse and try to become the Kings of New York. I hope Rome Odunze and Keenan Allen will be okay. I want my Bears to beat the Packers once. Just once. Is that the matchup this week? I don't know the week 2 schedule besides Vikings 49ers, which I'm not looking forward to with San Francisco coming off a really good game the other night. Syracuse is in the playoff. I guess I was not familiar with their game. They're a little bit better than I anticipated. I think they'll be our highest ranked opponent this year. We're going to take on Syracuse as like our, our test game. To be like, all right, here's what we look like against like a top, not the top team. I don't need to play a top 5 team every year, but I think Syracuse is a good choice. Forever the GOAT. Thank you, Willie, for that super chat. I appreciate it very much. What about UTSA? Yeah, I wanted to play Minnesota and UTSA early in this series, and I've already played Minnesota. I didn't play UTSA in year 1 because I stuck with that original schedule. Yeah, Rutgers would also be good. I think I'd play them in a year I don't play Syracuse, just to maybe have a different region opponent. No, Syracuse isn't in New York City. I forget how far out Syracuse is from that area. I don't know off the top of my head. How far away is Buffalo from Syracuse? I would guess like 100 miles or something. Now I wonder. $150 miles, I bet as a crow flies, it's even less than that. So I was pretty close. $3 hours? Is traffic that bad? Buffalo does play at Penn State in real life in year 3 of this. Yeah, they have this whole deal with the Big Ten, I guess. Like every year, we're a Big Ten sacrificial lamb. So Penn State and Syracuse might be on the schedule. But I also might put a couple easier opponents on there if you don't mind. Maybe a chance to get bowl eligible if we have a little bit softer non-conference. All right. Players leaving. Do I have any house rules to remind y'all of? Because I don't think anyone's going to be going pro. In my Miami series, I guess I could apply it to this. I don't convince running backs to stay because of the nature of that position, and I don't convince anybody to stay if they're projected to go in the first 3 rounds. Probably doesn't apply to us. All right, Alex. Playing style transfer, no chance at persuasion. I think it was a deal breaker. We just lost another lineman. Oh yeah, is it Bears Packers this week? I failed to even check the comments. I probably got sidetracked on a little side quest. It doesn't look like anyone is going to the NFL draft. But, I had this as a risk the entire time all year. It kept popping up that he could leave due to transfer playing style. So, Alex Heininger is going to be on the way out. And as far as the offensive lineman goes, that might mean we lose a little bit more. Trevor Brock could start. Liam Hamilton. Pajust is gone. Yeah, that hurts. It would have been nice to have him as a senior. But I think that after training, maybe a guy like Dom Camarda could play anyway. So, like, year 1, we had an awful game against Toledo. And I immediately went to go find the best center guard tackle that I could realistically get. And I got him. And those guys are probably about ready. Just a reminder, Eric Pacheco is a lefty. Got to move the QB band to his right wrist. Was his QB wristband really on his throwing arm? Oh, that's wrong. I appreciate that, Braven. I gotta fix that. I just don't even notice that when I'm playing, I guess. Is it safer to be editing stuff on players now? I know there have been a number of weird issues in this game. Like, people are telling me, Kane, don't customize players because you could lose them entirely or their ratings get screwed up. I'm like, what? What do you mean? Why do I have to watch out for every little thing? Is it considered a wrist item? Yeah. Imagine equipping both. He's just got like 2 different playbooks on him. Did I screw it up? I haven't been customizing players in here because I've been afraid to. There. Stay. I did edit people in Miami, and then I saw people say that, and I'm like, uh-oh. But I think it's more of a helmet issue, and I wasn't messing with helmets because I didn't think there was any need to. But I was trying to mess with, like, sleeves and bands and whatnot, but I think they have cleaned up some of those concerns, thankfully. Yeah, the jersey numbers can be edited now on non-NIL players. So more and more players every year we can do that with. Yeah, it's weird, the kind of things you got to watch out for in the games these days. The bugs get more obscure every year. Yeah, you need to have like a face mask on the right helmet if it's not a match. Like, things get screwed up. I'm not sure if that's even a concern anymore, but I haven't been editing any helmets since I heard that. All right, draft results. We had nobody, not even a 7th round pick on Gunnar Gray. Why not? He'd be a good camp arm. I guess that's more of a UDFA role. Oh, thankfully their running back is gone. He ran all over us in that finale. Did the Bowling Green quarterback transfer to a larger school? I don't think so. But I guess, well, I mean, the transfer portal would be right now. Let's take a look. I'd love to have him on the team. All right, transfer portal. What do we got this year, guys? There are quarterbacks available. One thing to keep in mind is that when you bring in these transfer players, there's still an issue in the game where transfers don't develop. So you're getting them as good as they were that previous year. It's really odd. Here are the top quarterbacks, though, on the move. I don't recognize any names. And no, Bowling Green's quarterback isn't going anywhere. Walker White. I haven't really been wanting to get a transfer at quarterback. I really want to develop Elway, especially with that star dev. but I am interested in pretty much every other position. So running back, I don't know if we have any options, which is fine. At receiver, we do, but considering we have Morrow, McMillan, Harris, it's not like a need for this coming year. So if we add somebody, they'd probably be a fourth receiver. Would the camera be better over here for now? For this part of the off season? Give Elway number 7. I might have to do that. So I'm probably going to scout some of these receivers. I know it's going to be our last year with Morrow and McMillan. So if we could bring in somebody that could develop into somebody we use in year 4, I think that'd be really nice. So I'm prioritizing like freshmen and sophomores at some of these spots. And we'll see how far these scouting points end up stretching for us. Offensive linemen, though, I would love to bring in a lineman. I can't. Is there anybody? Not a single lineman is interested in coming here. That hurts. How about a pass rusher? Okay. Jake Jackson from Maryland. We got Grant Bucky from New Mexico. And then D tackles. How do you pronounce that? That sounds like a new Starbucks drink. I don't know how to say that. So we got a lot of D tackles here, 3 stars. So we'll have to take a look at them, and they like the fit with us. I would totally consider linebacker again after getting Ziegler last year. Especially somebody with a coverage or field general archetype, which is almost everybody here. 6'4", 237 with coverage. That might be a tough battle, but might be worth it. And then I am interested in like run support DBs. I really want to improve our tackling on defense. So we have a lot of portal targets here to consider. My board is now full, 35 players. So let's organize this a little bit better. And then I'll prioritize as well, looking at position by position. So there's still Simon Gladstone. We got Trent Matlock here, Tremaine Singleton. I hadn't really recruited all that heavily. Again, I'm looking for guys that can help out a little bit more with tackling. 68, 83 speed, lower coverage. Wasn't sure he'd really be a starter with us, but 82 hit power kind of stood out. And then as far as positions I want to prioritize here, I would say mostly the defensive stuff. Like, I can't have a single transfer offensive lineman. I think that's because, like, nobody, like, the linemen that transfer are transferring due to playing style. And we had a lineman leave because our playing style was terrible. We couldn't run the ball, which was probably what they needed. And so nobody who is leaving their team because of playing style is going to consider ours. So it's a pretty negative loop in our favor. But let's get to some scouting then on the defensive line. Who can help us out with run stopping? 72 block shed, 66 awareness. As a sophomore, I'd probably be in because there'd be multi-year development upside. But again, remember, these transfers, 99 strength, grip breaker ability, I don't even know what that is. But 99 strength. Yeah, I want David Anderson first. I'll put like 10 points on players as a start just to remember them. What did I miss? Khalil, not a whole lot. We're in the transfer portal right now, so this is kind of the first big thing. Yeah, 92 strength, 75 block shed as a freshman. All right, so that's 2 defensive tackles I already like. Let's move on to maybe defensive ends. I'm paying attention to those hours. Jake Jackson, really good block shed, man. I don't know if he can pass rush, but I'm here to upgrade defense right now. Like, everybody in the portal is really strong. What exactly is grip breaker? Yeah, 6'7", 340 there on Panay Fui Mauno. That's what I'm talking about. Getting off blocks. Significantly increased lateral sheds. I like the sound of that. And then I'm looking for a replacement for Nolan Ziegler. Demario Hines could be a really good choice. All right, so 81 speed, 80 and 79. 75 tackling probably puts Simeon Coleman behind Hines and Henley. And play recognition is best here for Hines. I think Hines is the priority player at this spot. What if Tangelo transfers? Is it too late for any of that flipping to go? Can he flip? I was just, coping that he might flip. Get rid of the Yukon people. He can still flip. Once signed, they can't. He can't? Okay. Goodbye, Graham Tangelo. I really wanted him to stay in-state. But I guess he's a fake New Yorker. He doesn't want to come to Buffalo. Good speed, good tackling, and hit power, too. CJ Turner. What I might start doing a lot more often is playing a safety as a slot because they're more physical. And playing this 4-2-5 defense and just the nature of the way our opponents play, like that slot has to be able to play and tackle in the running game. So I'm going to prioritize that a little bit more than I have been. And Turner would be, I think, a really good addition. And you know what? I'm going to say that the rest of my points need to be spent on trying to acquire players and not scouting. I have a really good list of players here on defense mainly. Do I want to think about any of these receivers, though? A freshman there, a sophomore there, a sophomore there. He's a freshman, and he's ranked 107 here on this board. I'll scout one more. That kind of looks good enough as it is. I might just offer and say, you know, this is probably good enough. I only have so many hours. I used a lot of points here to scout, so that's the one, you know, concern is if I spread myself too thin. I really want 6'7", 340, Panay Fui Mauno. And I want David Anderson. I want both. I'm going to prioritize Anderson. He has the 99 strength and grip breaker. So I only have so many points. I'm going to go 35 there. I'm going to go, I think, 35 on Jake Jackson. Especially if he can play defensive end with those ratings and play the run well. Like, that's going to be a big help against, like, outside runs. Plus, I'm sure with those ratings, he can play inside just fine. I'll go 35 on him. CJ Turner. I'm going to go 25 here. DB, not as important to fill as D-line, in my opinion. And then I think Hines is also going to be somebody that at least gets the 35. That's not too bad, I think. Might be able to go 35 here, too. All right. Let's bump it up then on D-line. I'm going to go 50 now on Anderson. And I'm going to go and put 50 on Jake Jackson. Got to manage my resources here just so efficiently because of being a one-star team now. And then I can't forget about the high school players still. Because I haven't done enough to finish these off. But the DTs I'm going for right now are more intriguing than Gladstone, who is a confirmed bust and a JUCO player. Trent Matlock at right tackle. Like, O-line depth is pretty important to build up. Yeah, I'm going to have to go for both of those D tackles, I think. $50 there. Man, it really depends on how competitive some of these get. Did I even put points on the receivers yet? I didn't. But I don't think I'll be scouting in stage 2. Because I have my targets now figured out. All right. Like, if we cannot be the worst run defense in the MAC next year, like, what does that mean for our possible win total? Like, here's our team stats in the MAC. Give me defense. This is what we're trying to improve right here. 2,009 yards in 12 games. The worst national run defense. Yeah, I could see if anything in my coach abilities could improve, like D tackles, like interest. Unless I already have that. Yeah, I think I'm already in a good spot there, tier 3. Buffalo is now a 1-star program, Mark. We made progress. All right. Next week. We're locked out by a few, but not our top targets. We lost the lead here for Matlock, and now he's going to be visiting Pitt. But let's talk about these portal players. Ooh, that's good. That's huge. Jake Jackson. We're locked out here. We'll take him off the board. First for Jackson. Okay, we got beat. Oh, I didn't even try on that player. David Anderson, that's a fight. And for Panay, that's a bit of a fight. So good thing I put 50 on those guys. I can go up to 65, and I might want to. And then for Hines, we're in first by a mile. All right, for CJ Turner, we need to get probably maxed on him. We can't do a visit yet. Wide receiver depth good? Yeah, let's take a look at our receiving core right now, because it's going to be pretty solid this year, but I don't know what it's going to be like next season. Like, most of our receivers for next year are going to be players I've brought in. Like, getting someone who could develop for next year is huge. Next year's portal's going to be huge. Maybe they'll patch the game between now and then where transfers will develop still, because that really hurts the portal right now, is basically not getting development on players that you bring in that first year anyway. So if I can bring in like a freshman, they won't get better this year, but they will for the following year, which would really help out our future outlook. Because, man, we're leaning on Morrow and McMillan a lot. We're going to have Harris, and hopefully development takes these guys up a notch. Keep in mind, we have not gotten our training development this year. Yes, it treats those transfers like recruits. They're not developing, at least right now. So maybe Braylon Staley is somebody else that we at least send the house on. We'll see if I have enough to max out the guys I'm already like putting heavy points in. Jake Jackson's obviously going to get the 65, and then we have to factor in visits too, because I don't think there's any, like, when it comes to visits, just like sooner the better, right? Because there's no difference from 1 week to the next, besides like if you visit in week 4, maybe you go somewhere else before then. Can I hard sell him? I forgot that was an option here in the top 5. Are we a good fit for his stuff? Oh, we're an excellent fit. Yeah, let's hard sell. That's why he wanted to come to Buffalo so bad, right? That makes me feel like that good of a fit's going to be a lock, especially having him visit. Perfect. The D tackles are in their top 5 stage. So David Anderson. Let's see. Playing style is 1, and that's the only one I have info on right now. I'll have him visit. Fuimono. I only have procs to home and playing style, which one of those is an F. Is there a skill for training transfers? I hadn't heard of that before. There's a lot of coach abilities I've probably never seen. I don't know if that's one of them. I got 140 here. I'll schedule his visit. I can do 4 players in a week, so I think this is our 3rd. But I don't know his pitch yet, so maybe I wait. He's not going to decide on his team this next week, so let's wait. Hines doesn't have his top 5 stage yet. CJ Turner won't have his top 5 stage yet. So let's send the house on Hines. We can max out David Anderson further. We can put 10 more on Jackson. And then Staley can't visit quite yet, but I could put up to 65 on him. But we only have one offer. I don't think I need to do the 65. You can pitch play style on a visit. Okay. For that. Yeah, his deal breaker could be a good fit then. Yeah, playing style is perfect. You got to piece some things together in this game. It's a little awkward at times, but I do think overall that these systems, especially when they're more like refined and ironed out, it's going to be a pretty good spot for college football games. All right, 45 left. Do I think about just putting more of those points then into Trent Matlock? I think I will. Maybe I can have him. You think it's better to do 40 points on a visit or 40 points recruiting? Procs to home is an A. Why do we want Matlock? O-line depth and just being able to develop more guys there. Recruiting over visit. Visit, visit, visit. Hard sell. It's a lot of answers. Visit's always better. And I think I only have 3 guys visiting this week, right? So he could be our 4th. And this could probably get us back into first place. He's going to Pitt in week 4, so that's what we have to kind of hold on and get him by week 3, or it might be a loss. I'll throw the last 5 on him too, but I think that's a pretty good plan for this week. All right, week 2 is complete. Not expecting any commits. Ooh, that's not looking promising. We barely went up. I think we lost. I expected a better visit. They must be dumping points into them. All right, Braylon Staley, still excellent shape. And I should be able to do a visit for him now. And then the D lineman. There's Temple. We just had our visit. We're hard selling, going all in. I don't like seeing Temple make that much of a jump. How do you check player traits? You have to go on to individual players' player card. Go to your roster menu and hit triangle on them to see their player card, and hit left trigger to start cycling through menus. Looking good for David Anderson. And then it's super competitive here for Panay. I think it's going to be tough to sweep these. Hines is looking good. Ohio's in the mix now. We can visit Hines this week. I'm low on points. Yep. Playing time is better than playing style. I'll take my A- visit. And then CJ Turner should be good for a visit now. Play style is going to be the best one for him. So it looks like I'm going to lose out on these other high school players, but I like our high school class. I think we have a lot of good players there. Matlock, we're not going to be nearly aggressive enough. Gladstone was a JUCO bust anyway. We might even get Kalen Meekins just by default. No one else is offered. So I can max out Staley a bit further. Don't use the first 3 cells after you find interest. Curious what you mean there. Like, hard selling is the best way to get big points. Are you talking about these ones? You must be telling me to sell, which in this case I should on Staley. Yeah, when I see players are already maxed out, I'm not thinking like adjusting the points as much. Yeah, I watched a really good video showing like, you know, what do you do here when you have maybe a D+ and an A? But as long as you have a couple that are like B or above, I think it plays out, the math works out better to where it's better to hard sell than go and send the house. Basically, if you can send the house and you've got at least decent traits there, like if it's FFD, don't do it. But chances are it won't be. I appreciate the super chats. Sorry I was confused on the first go around. Midnight, new member. I appreciate that. I see you here all the time. Channel member streams are always end of the month. Oftentimes, it's where I'm talking about new stuff coming to the channel and just different things behind the scenes, like what I'm thinking about, adjusting, changing, future content plans. They're fun, chill streams, about an hour and a half are the length. And it's a way to support the channel. It's what I do full time. Don't gotta do it. Don't feel like you need to, but if you want to, it is there if you hit the join button. But what I would like you to do is hit the like button, too, the thumbs up. We got 277 likes, 1,300 of y'all here watching on this Wednesday afternoon. I appreciate y'all being here. Switch music time. Yeah, an hour of this track. This track has just been so good. I'm not sick of it yet. All right, let me make sure I'm hard selling everybody that I can. And I'm not here on Panay, but if I have... Ooh, it probably works out still. So, what is a match for playstyle and procs to home? Or play time? Probably time to get to work. So this is probably his top 3 here. Good old Detroit, Oregon. I never knew there was a Detroit, Oregon. I'd kind of like to see them adjust this recruiting where the numbers, like you can just kind of follow the numbers. Like maybe hard sell works a little bit differently. I think it's kind of weird to have a mechanic here where you can put 50 points into a player, but it's better to choose the 41, although you unlock it later. I just feel like this could be ironed out a little bit to not make you like redo that kind of thing. It doesn't give you a lot of feedback. It's just something we all kind of learn. All right, and let's see. Playtime, play style. Yeah, those are both going to be good options. Take a chance on that. I believe I'm hard selling all these players. Nope, I still had one left. Like maybe they could have the hard selling be something that's, I don't know, it just feels like the system needs a second layer if they want to do this situation where the points don't match up. Like Send the House not being as good as hard selling, and then the letter grades obviously manipulate that, but you don't really know. All right, got 30 points left over. What do I want to do with those? Because I'm probably not winning for Matlock. I mean, I could try if it's all I have left. Maybe I could, well, I'm not going to get Jackson Harris. I'm not going to win a losing fight here at this stage. Maybe I scout Cozart. He's a deep threat. Staley, I believe, was a route runner. Oh, he's a deep threat as well. I'm going to go back to the receivers and see if I can find a different archetype. I've been getting a lot of deep threats. It's a common archetype. But I want a 3 if I can. Yeah, deep threat is just the dominant one. There are a couple route runners here, but I'm also like factoring in if I think I can win. And I'm not getting Roten here with Maryland like about to seal the deal on that. You're saying Shetron is nasty? I see a couple of you saying his name, and he's not in a competitive battle. Where's he from? Kansas. Yeah, that's probably enough info there. Just like with Staley. There's definitely room to bring in a second receiver. So this is like a late addition. We'll put 15 on his battle there and call this stage good. You need athletes in the MAC. That's right. You know, I was asked last year, why play Austin Harris at receiver over cornerback or safety? Like, he would be a really good DB, I think, at a larger school. But I felt like his athleticism in the MAC was immediately going to make him stand out. And sure enough, once I played him a lot, I felt like his athleticism was just too much for the competition. Now, I think there is potential to play Harris both ways. I think he could play safety. His press is too low to handle cornerback. Yes, we get Jake Jackson. But I think there is the potential of playing Harris at times at safety. His ratings are very good for it. All right, we get Jake Jackson, huge win. David Anderson as we build up the trenches. Huge week for Buffalo football. Final week, everybody. This is week 4. Looking good. And no one in this battle. And Panay, that's looking good too. Week 6? Week 6 visit. Where is week 6? What does that even mean? There's only 4 weeks. What does week 6 mean? I don't know about a scheduling glitch. I haven't had any issue yet in what I've done. CPU off-season visits are bugged. Might play to our benefit then. I guess in case anybody else were to give him a late offer, let's do what we can here to get Talon Shetron. But we have a lot more points than I need. I really wish there was like an offensive lineman or something else we could put on the board here. There were no running backs. There were no linemen because our run game was so bad. No one wants to come here to fill that need. Playing style is something you have to solve by recruiting, is what I'm learning. I couldn't get any corners. Couldn't get any linemen. I might scout Jack Nickel. Tight end, you know. I know we have a vertical threat. To me, Kevin Kajust, my comp for him, I think he wore his, I forget Irv Smith's number in at Alabama, but to me, he's Irv Smith. A mildly athletic college tight end that wouldn't separate athletically at the national, like the NFL level, but a pretty good athlete at tight end in college. Not Evan Ingram. No, Ingram's a little freakier. That's a level 2. Kajust is trash. He's got a lot of work to do after that drop in the final game of the year. That's a hard one to forgive, right? Ingram is, like, compared to Irv Smith, Ingram is a lot freakier, especially because you have to adjust all athleticism for size. Like running a 4.4 at 6'6" versus running a 4.4 at 6'2" is different. And Irv Smith was never a 4.4 guy. He was probably a mid 4.5s guy before he got hurt a bunch of times. Yeah, that works. We are enjoying the portal today, guys. Did I add anybody else that I need to further look at? Like, maybe I don't have to use every point I got. I'm trying to be efficient with it, but... yeah, that's speed. Carl Valentine. We have a chance to bring in a lot of players this year in the portal. Our portal class might end up being pretty big. Did I have any more receivers I had to look into? Yeah, Kozar got an offer. All right, then. That might be it. I'm pretty happy with our portal effort so far. What's our class sitting at? 64. It's still going up. 14 players and probably a handful more. I'm out of points. Although there is one thing I'm curious about. Man, I don't know. Pitts, yeah, it's not worth it. I was going to think, like, what if I could drop down some of these players from, like, 50 to 20 and, like, get enough points to go heavier for Matlock? He's going to Pitt this week. They're ahead of us. So, you got to know when to take the L. Oh, yeah, Gary, the Como Zoo. That's a great one. I love it there. Appreciate the super chat. We get Braylon Staley. We get Penei Fui Mauno. Man, the D-line revamp for year 3. CJ Turner. Demario Hines. Jack Nickel. Carl Valentine. I was looking at that. National Signing Day. The final ranking for Buffalo's recruiting class ends up 53. 17 3-stars, 4 2s, 1 1. This year, I'm hoping we can get our first 4. But a 53rd ranked class, where does that put us in the MAC? The top. Now, not top by a mile, but the top. We'll take that. Missed out on Simon Gladstone and Trent Matlock. They both go to Temple. I did add Kalen Meekins as well there at the end, like the final high school player. And I covered a lot of dev traits already. Meekins has normal. I guess I'll check on the players I missed as well. Brandon Cherry, impact fullback. I missed out on that. Callaway, impact. Clink scale. We talked about the high school recruits earlier. And then, Ashton Kozart has star. I missed on him. We get Jake Jackson with impact. Anderson has normal. Fuimano has impact. Hines normal. Turner is impact. That's nice. He's a transferring sophomore. Star on Shetron. Impact on Nickel. Impact on Valentine. I'm happy with that class. All right, our position changes. We'll even out some spots if needed. So one thing, too, on Messiah Birch, I looked up like the real Buffalo roster around the time he was dropping a bunch of passes for us in this season. He's actually like a running back receiver hybrid, but he's listed at receiver here in the game. I think that we're kind of at the point, like, if his catching gets better, I could see him playing is the thing. And it's not going to get a lot better if he's trained at running back versus receiver, but what I can do... Oh, wow. Yeah, Staley pops up there as a 78. Shetron is 78. Man, the receiving core is going to be interesting this year. Braylon Staley, 94 speed. We got so much faster this year. Wow. You could see a lot more 4 wide from this team. I've already ran a fair bit of 4 wide, but it's going to make even more sense. A lot of tight ends on this team, apparently. Oh, yeah, we're getting the overalls now for, like, our freshman, Ray Elway, 66. This includes training, right? Because these were not Richie Watt's accuracies earlier. These weren't his accuracies. Right? 71 is his overall. No trainings happened? Well, then it's probably Watt's job then. I thought his accuracies were lower, though. I guess not. That's tack boost? Okay. Okay. Yeah, having Adam Kane helps, I guess. Let me stay on topic here. Yeah, I would think about moving Birch to running back, but his ratings actually wouldn't be a great fit there. So I'm just going to let him be. Man, we need some more linemen. Yeah, I guess I'll move Berryman to the left side. Just have more than one listed over there. We need more linemen this year for sure. It's going to be one of the emphasis in our recruiting this year is hopefully getting really good linemen. How about the breakout late there of Jermichael Humphreys? Wasn't that awesome to see? So I guess if you wanted to see those traits earlier I talked about, you have to click into their stats. And it's listed under there. That's a lot of D tackles. David Anderson can play. Poiser's going to play because he was good last year. And Hines could be counted on to be our new middle linebacker. We've had a new one there every year. And I think he's probably a better fit than nearly everybody. What about Deion Crawford? 85 tackling, 73 block shed. Hines has a lot lower block shed. Like, they're probably both playing, but who's going to be in the middle is the question. Yeah, so far, linebacker and offensive line is an early target for recruiting. I can sort out who's playing what later, but that's just something to keep in mind. Corner. Got a lot of free safeties, apparently. That's okay. So yeah, I don't think we had any athletes this year. Are any safeties better at linebacker? I mean, I doubt it because of block shed and strength. That's probably not a move I'm making. We don't have anybody that stands out there. I may have to cut a fair bit of players. We'll see. I don't know how close we are to the cap. Ooh. More coach points. Training results. Here we go. This is a big stage. Wesley Williams at 86. There's a lot more 80 pluses now on this team. Quarterback first, Richie Watts. 91 throw power. Man, Pacheco, did he take a big leap? His arm got so much stronger. No? Pacheco's a lot better. He's a 66, so maybe not a lot, but like 3 points better. Richie Watts from 71 to 75. So it looks like it's going to be Watts' job this year. His ratings are very similar to Gunnar Gray, so I feel like moving to him will be pretty simple. Finally. Oh, thank you. We did not get Sperling to develop from year 1 to year 2. He's an 85. Leon Dingle to a 75. That's awesome. Pacheco's caps are really low. He can still get more accurate, but his arm is done getting stronger. It's really just the accuracy that can get better. Yeah, Dingle was like a 66, and now he's a 75. Yeah, I want to see more from Jaden Daniels. He had a couple rushing touchdowns. I didn't get to see him throw the ball a lot in that game. Tampa played a really good game, and they might be the team I was most wrong about going into the year. I was fully expecting a step back from them, and, you know, it's one game against a team that's not expected to be great, but Tampa sure looked like they're not missing Dave Canales on offense, and Baker played well, which was where I was wondering if the regression would show up. So, Tampa, might have to apologize. Morrow, 2/81, is our top receiver. McMillan didn't take a huge leap, and now it's going to be probably tougher to get him on the field with Shetron and Staley. Austin Harris goes from 66 to a 72, though. But he's about reached his cap when it comes to being a receiver. I still think he's going to be good in the MAC because he is so much more athletic than the DBs are at his size. So things like the spec catch are going to be able to stand out and do a lot for him. 89 spec catch, 83 deep route running, and he's got speed. I like our receivers here 1 through 5, man. How am I going to get Quentin Pollard any touches? This could be an issue. I like Quentin Pollard, man. He still got better, 66 to 71. $77 on Kevin Kajust. He was a 64, y'all. His catching is up to a 78. He's about at his cap now. Very close. Daly, Viviano, Nickel. Huh. Maybe Nickel won't get a lot of playing time then. I guess I was seeing a couple ratings that really stood out, but he's a senior. It might be tough to play him. Baker, another guy that didn't do nothing for us like Sam. The list ends there, though, right? I like to add in somebody who was productive in Carolina and then left. Steve Wilkes. When he took over for Matt Rule, the Panthers were at least, like, average-ish. And it's gotten a lot worse since Steve Wilkes was their interim. No way. Kevin Kajust is now our best run blocker? I wasn't counting on that. Oh boy. Best receiver and run blocker all in one? Sounds good to me. Roche went from 52 to 70? Dude. Dallas Roche, he was like going to be... Wait. Okay. I got a Sean Proche. Dallas Roche was, yeah, like a 53. Wow. Could be a future slot then. And he's fast. Yeah, Dallas Roche got a lot better. Good call. Yeah, Yeah, they really bumped up Kajust a ton, man. We got all that elite dev in one go. Now, I wasn't sure what was going to happen with this because I didn't play him a lot as a freshman. There were many that wanted me to play him immediately. The reason I didn't, A, I wanted the red shirt. B, I wanted to run the ball. And he wasn't a good run blocker for year one, and our line wasn't even great, so I felt like I had to play Daly and Viviano to have somebody else that could block. Henry Tabansi's up to a 75. We got Tyler Hilton and Matthew Glenn, 2 guards at 77 and 76. Liam Hamilton and Chet Sanders, 73, 72. Sanders, remember, he has weird ratings. He is... Maybe it's gotten cleaned up, though, with him. Because didn't Chet have, like, really good pass blocking and horrid run blocking? Because it seems to be more evened out now. His run blocking had to have gotten a lot better. And then Dom Camarda, whoa, he took a huge leap. Like a 66 to a 79. That is awesome. That is your Matt Pajust replacement. And then Chadwick up to an 80. The line? So... we don't return many starters at all, but I think our line is in okay shape. There's some huge boosts. Let's go defense. 86 on Wesley Williams. He was a 79. Kobe Stewart. Jermichael Humphreys from a 66 to a 75. Broke out in that second to last game. Player of the week on 18 snaps. Now, his caps are limiting, but he can still become maybe an 80, 82. Yeah, Camarda, I think, was a gem. I could potentially redshirt Jake Jackson. Just saying. There aren't a lot of players here I can. Poiser to a 78. 91 awareness, 99 strength. Man. Dare I say the trenches could turn in our favor this year. Ooh, Crawford got faster. Where's that Bowling Green running back this season? He went pro. He was a senior. Kane, moving to the Twin Cities next spring. Any suburbs you like to recommend? There's a ton of nice ones, depending if you're more on the Minneapolis side or the St. Paul side. I'm more familiar with the St. Paul side of things. Like, if you were in that area, I would look at, like, Woodbury would be an option. There's a lot of nice areas over there. All right, I wanted to see if our linebackers would get any faster, and Deion Crawford did. Murdoch 81. So Crawford's definitely going to be featured. High tackling, highest speed, good block shed. He might be a good fit as the inside linebacker. And then Bridges 85, McCarthurin's 80. McCarthurin's was quiet last year. Joey McCune, did he take a big leap? Oh, I guess he's an 80, yeah. I was kind of glancing over him because I had picked up Hines in the portal. But his tackling stands out. His block shed really stands out. His pursuit. Joey McCune might be playing a little bit for us. I like this development we got this year, guys. Mateo Buffelli to a 76. Ramari Taylor to a 75. Yeah, Taylor 78 tackling, 83 press. That's a future starter. Probably next year he's starting. I like this team a lot, guys. What's up, Kane? Oh, man, the offseason's been awesome, Mike. We had a great run in the portal, added some really good players that have definitely changed the way things look for the future, including at receiver, where we're going to be very deep this year in the MAC. And Brandon Staley is, or Braylon Staley, he is not former head coach of the Chargers, but Braylon Staley is a sophomore, so we got 2 years to work with him. And development-wise, training-wise, a lot of guys are just up massively. Like Kevin Kajus to a 77. The O-line is looking good. Dom Camarda to a 79. He was like a 66 last year. Our D-line looks scary now. Especially much better for stopping the run. But let's go to our specialists. Nick Reed. 89 kick power, 84 accuracy. And Travis Kesey, 84 kick power. Good deal. Expectations are so much higher this year. I do want to see Bowling Green's quarterback because they got a really good player last year. He barely went up. We played him when he was a 77. He is a 78. That's good news then. I thought he would be going up further. What do I got to do for that, Braven? Go into the formation subs and just tweak it? The Maction is going to be on another level this year. Encourage transfers. Only happens in game. Oh, our roster is 82 or 85. I don't have to cut anybody. Now, are there players here who are definitely like not going to make an impact for us? I'm sure there are plenty. But if I don't have to cut anybody and I have 3 spots of room, then I might as well just not cut anybody. I would only get walk-ons if a position didn't meet a specific minimum. I think I've met the minimum for every spot, though. So might as well just let it be. Yeah, that's the thing too. You never know who's going to take that huge leap. You know, it's probably not going to happen for Anthony Polycare, but what if he took a big leap and then like somebody got hurt and, you know, it's stuff that might have a very minimal chance of happening, but there's no benefit to cutting. This is exciting. Played a full CPU versus club season on my day off yesterday. Really happy with the gameplay. 10-2 with my Terps, year 2 in the playoff semifinals. Sounds like a good day. Full season. How many of y'all have marathoned a full season in this game in one day? It's been a long time since I've done something like that because I have to stop and edit and I'm focused on making the content, but imagine like waking up early on like a Saturday and just grinding out a whole season. Yesterday. See? It happens. I have at South Carolina. I've done it more times than I'd like to admit. Like these games here, these franchises, like if I'm to sit down and have like a marathon session on a game, these are about the only games I can do it on before I'm like itching to get off. Like I just don't have fatigue for franchise and Dynasty. I'll end up going through a full season if I don't stop myself. So yeah, we're going to Penn State this year. I would like maybe an easier opening game. Do the Volunteers. Tennessee. Some year it might make sense to play a team like Tennessee. We only played one SEC school. That was Missouri. I know I want to play Syracuse, but I have Penn State on the schedule too. Been loving your college football content. Just won my first national championship with UCF, year 8 of a slow sim dynasty. That's awesome, Leo. You don't got to send a super chat to answer, but did you ever see like interceptions get settled down in your slow sim experience? Because that's the one thing I'm waiting on with mine. Hawaii, I mean, we have a lot of history against them from the UTSA series. A team with an alternate field? That'd be fun too, yeah. Temple, isn't that a rivalry? Yes. We got destroyed by them last year, and I tried to bury that game in an episode. I would love a rematch with Temple. I gotta get a rematch with Temple in there. But let's see 3 road games to finish. We do play Bowling Green again. We face a couple Michigan teams. Toledo's on the schedule this year. So I need 3 home games for the non-conference schedule. Because I only got 1, 2, 3. And the Penn State game is supposed to be a road game. So that means the rest have to be at home. We got Temple at home. Maybe I'll open this week and see what week 4 has. App State. Man, I've never played App State in any of these games because this is the first one they're officially in. App State could be fun. What alternate field teams are in the game? What I miss? A whole lot. We had a really, really good recruiting class, I'd say. Training, though, really took things to a new level. A lot of players took some massive leaps, like Kevin Kajust and Dom Camarda, up 10-plus points each. Lamar Sperling's an 85 overall now. Oh, yeah, Coastal Carolina. I played them in the UTSA. Eastern Washington. Is Eastern Washington even in the game? Aren't they FCS? I know they have a red field. Any true freshmen that are going to play? We got to take a look at that. Because I don't know if that there are many in like Leon Dingle's situation. And who do I want to open against either? I would like for this to be a potentially easier matchup. Maybe a 1-star team. Now that we're a 1-star again. Kennesaw State. I've never played them. It'd be fun to see some new teams. Completely new. I have Penn State in here because it's actually like Buffalo is just playing a bunch of Big Ten teams for like, I don't know, 10 years or something. That starts up next year. But yeah, when it came to the field, it wouldn't matter then for Coastal because I have to play these games at home. Because I only have 3 home games in conference, so I need 3 out-of-conference games at home. Maybe I save Coastal for when we go travel there. Is UTSA available? Bang. Kennesaw, Temple, Penn State, UTSA. That feels like a good schedule. I gotta get Temple again after last year. Do Arkansas State? They developed really well at the end of the UTSA series, so they were a little more intriguing to me. Swap Temple and UTSA, so that gives more points. How many stars is UTSA? Because Temple's only 1. Yeah, Temple did take a couple of recruits. I don't think Temple would be a higher tier opponent for that. Rivalry wins bring recruiting bonuses. All right, then I'm sold. If it all fits together here. I didn't know that. Rivalry games bring recruiting bonuses. It makes sense. Kennesaw State was 7-7 last year. That means they played a conference championship game and a bowl. Yeah, they were 6-2. I'm not even sure what conference they're in. Maybe it's the American. That could be a tougher game. But every game is going to be tough for us. We've won 7 games in 2 years. I like to see their roster. That looks a lot like our situation. Donovan Westmoreland. I'm more familiar with Charles Westmoreland. Yeah, it's not a bad roster. They got a speedy #1 corner. Is that a Prison Break reference? I was hoping somebody would catch it. Preseason top 25. Is there a way to see like the full ranking here? Would I just do like championship contender or something? Do they do like conference predictions in here anymore? He's got to be sorted by like most likely to win, right? Oh, they got this wrong completely though. Or maybe it's last year's standings, I think is maybe how it is, because this is where we finished. Have you thought about realignment in your franchise? Not like a dramatic realignment. Like that's something I've been kind of confused why it's like so popular. If it's just people wanting to go back to the way things were. But, you know, I waited 11 years for this game. I'm cool playing with the current reality of college football and just, you know, massive conferences. I'm fine with it. '83 overall, 82 offense, 84 defense. We have the highest overall in the MAC. Kennesaw 73s across the board. I don't know if you should even trust these numbers. I don't think that the formulas that make them up actually make that much sense. Because Kennesaw's roster, if you were to look at it, looked about like ours. Somebody asked earlier about true freshmen that could make an impact. There was a chance that Ray Elway could, but his ratings are not on the level of Richie Watts. And I'm going to be playing Watts. Watts has, you know, better accuracy in every department, including 16 medium. Pretty important there. I will say, though, Elway, I want to get... Ooh, he comes in with number 7. That's kind of cool. Or number 0, but maybe he needs number 7. But true freshman that could play. I'm not expecting any. I don't think a single one. Our best freshman is Chauncey Baptiste, but he's not going to be starting. Enrique Trejo is way down the board. What if Watts gets hurt? In that case, if it were like in the first game, I'd probably play Elway. But if not, I'd probably just maybe figure it out with Pacheco. His accuracies still are better except for deep. But yeah, we can change numbers now. But Richie Watts is probably an NIL player, right? So I can't edit his. That means I could not give Elway 7 until next year. You can edit numbers on non-NIL players. So after a few years, it's going to be, you know, the entire roster because it'll be all players I brought in. What has been done to fix run defense so far? Oh, a whole lot. Absolutely a whole lot. So I brought in a bunch of guys in the portal. I brought in Jake Jackson. Although Wesley Williams taking a massive leap here is basically going to be one of our biggest upgrades, just seeing him go from a 78 to an 86. But I also brought in a couple D tackles that are going to stand out here. You've got David Anderson and Panay Fuimauno. And now these moves are multi-year moves. Panay is only a sophomore, so he's a 77 now, has a chance to get a lot better than that. He's 6'7", 340. His run stopping can still grow. His pass rushing can still grow. But the development this year was huge. Having Williams and adding Jackson. Now, what you're probably going to see in the base defense is both of these guys playing. Because, well, I mean, our base defense is 4-2-5, but consider we do have some 4-3 packages. They both can play the run. They're both going to play those end spots. And then there's a chance that they could also even play a little bit inside, as they'll probably offer a little bit better pass rushing. Williams especially has both power and finesse on his side. So that's the multi-year upgrade I think we're getting. And then at linebacker, I'm really interested here in Joey McCune. It's a lot easier to go into practice right now and like demo what it's like with our new quarterback. It's harder to see what it's like, you know, with this new linebacker unless I call like specific plays and run them over and over again. But I feel like I need to see Joey McCune and how he plays the run. Do you headcanon generated players being the sons of former players? All the time. All the time, Albert. Appreciate the super chat. Oh yeah, I don't want to advance because I have a board to make here. Yeah, Elway can get 7 next year. I'd love to do that. But I literally can't right now. Well, the D-line have more sacks this year. Absolutely. We had 18 in year 2. I think we're going for 25 plus this season. Any change to playbook? I will always go through and like change things just based on formations I like or don't like. I will probably look at a little bit more 4 receiver this year, given how deep that got. If you missed anything earlier, I added a couple receivers in the portal, including Braylon Staley. So now our 1 through 5 is, for one, much more athletic, especially with Staley. But I think that our best personnel is often going to be now 3 receiver or 4. And Kevin Kajust got a whole lot better. So I'm really interested in more formations where the tight end is off the line and playing in the slot. We have some of that, but I think that we could run more of that now, not having like Daly and Viviano play as much. What's Staley's dev trait? Star. And one thing I haven't done yet is go through the caps on our new freshmen. I've looked at ratings and such and dev traits, but we haven't gone through caps. Let's begin with quarterback of the future, Ray Elway. A little limiting, honestly. Not going to keep him from being a starter with us, but not an amazingly high ceiling. Certainly starting caliber. Certainly some mobility. Not going to be game breaking, but enough. More than we had last year with Gunnar Gray, I'd say. And his arm can get a little bit stronger. And I've been getting used to that stronger arm quarterback. So I think Elway can be solid. And then for abilities, Mobile Deadeye is definitely one that stands out. Off-platform, improved accuracy, cross-body, or back foot. I didn't even know that was a thing in the game. Sleight of hand. I'm looking at the requirement versus currently. He doesn't have a strong enough arm yet for off-platform or any of these abilities, but he's close. Going into year 4 in my UMass Dynasty, move them to the MAC, have 12 total wins, but got a 5-star linebacker and is an early starter. That's got to be a nice boost there. I haven't gotten a 4 or a 5 yet, and I'm certainly hoping to this season. Enrique Trejo, star at receiver. The route running cap, I like that a lot. You know, elusiveness, I get that. I think this is a good situation for Trejo, especially with Star Dev. Got to get used to Star being a level up from Madden Star Dev. I also brought in Sean Prochet. His ceiling is far more limiting. Logan Clinkscale. Impact 58. Ooh. That hurts. He can get better as a blocker. But he's not a great receiver and he's not going to improve it that much. So he's going to have to become a much better blocker. But it is officially Kevin Kajus season anyway for the next 4 years, hopefully. Antoine Berryman, the 67 overall left tackle. I look at this set of caps here, and I'm thinking, you know, maybe high 70s, low 80s. Chauncey Baptiste with star. O-line rally. A little bit better caps. And that mental ability is composure gain for pancakes. Delicious. All right, and how about Jalil Callaway? I believe he was a 2-star. Yep, impact. Maybe you could head cannon. He's had some arm injuries here. He's got 2 wrist braces and an arm brace. Those aren't bad caps. Not at all. That's a pretty good situation for a 2-star. Artie Ernsberger. 3-star. Arm brace. He can get his coverage a little bit better. But run stopping is going to stay put, which is just okay. Alfonso Magnifico. Impact. Gonna be better in zone when he's maxed out than man, probably. But should develop into a starter. Improved ability to play out of position. Huh. Maybe that's saying he could play a little safety then, if we need him to. Cortez Shed. A lot more athletic than most players we've been able to recruit at this stage. And yeah, very good caps here, I'd say. It's already a 70 for man coverage. Could get significantly better. And zone. I think Shed's going to be really, really good. Can I check how close the redshirt freshmen are to their ceilings? I've gone through a lot of those profiles. Probably not all of them. But I'll take a look at guys like Dingle and see how much more he can get better. I know Austin Harris is pretty close to his limit already as a receiver. Anton Claypool, I feel like he'll have more of a mid-70s ceiling here as a 1-star. And then I also brought in Brenton Lampman, Kalen Meekins, 3 safeties this year. Yeah, those are bad caps on Lampman. And Kalen Meekins. Yep. Not the best caps. Yeah, I wanted to see Dingle. He played as a freshman. He's still got some potential, but elusiveness is already at the cap. Basically, he might become a little bit better as a receiving back and a little bit stronger, but not significantly. But his year 1 leap to year 2 is pretty sizable. He went up like 9 overall. All right. I say we take a look at the recruiting board. So here's our school now. 1-star Buffalo. We're still a D- championship contender. We got to win some games. This season, we have 28 seniors. That's a lot. That includes a quarterback. This year, Sperling, I believe, is a junior. 3 receivers, 3 tight ends. We want to keep getting more O-linemen. If I can get a 4-star lineman, that would be really nice. I'm probably going to at least try. And then we're losing a lot of defensive linemen. And linebackers are a very thin position in general. We need to get more linebackers. Let me switch up the music again here. This is a championship team in the making. Let's hope we can take a big leap, and having 450 hours right now is a lot better than what, 350 in the offseason last year? Don't recommend me 1 stars. I'm going straight to the O-line. Now, what we can do actually is see who is like most interested in coming here. There are some threes this year that have us in first. That is an improvement. How about fives? No one has us top 10. Fours? No one has us top 10. Threes? We have a first. Soma Ojinaka. We got a running back from the Bronx. 3-star has us number 1. He goes to the board. Along with Joel Treggs, James Childs, Shakir Romo, Levi Spear. We'll see on some of these athletes what positions they fit into. But I want to focus a little bit here on the offensive line. That's where I'm willing to try reaching a little bit for 4 stars. Ideally, if they're in a pipeline, too. Morgan Gent. I'll add him to the board. Max Wall. That is a really good left tackle name. Max Wall. Are you kidding me? So we have some targets there that are 4-star. Let's go back to the threes. There might be some more that have us in first place. I guess when I'm on the all page, it doesn't show nearly all. There are 2 quarterbacks, for instance. How are we approaching quarterback now? Do I still recruit and see if I can find someone even better than Elway? Because he looks like a guy that could be our starter for multiple years. At what point, though, do I start thinking about, adding more? Do I just keep doing it? Always recruit a quarterback. Probably, a good idea. Maybe add at least a couple guys and see if anyone's worth pursuing. I'll put 2 on the board right now. Let's see, we got receiving, elusive, and then power. At receiver, not a huge priority right now. I'm going to scout maybe some more offensive linemen, though. Anybody that's got us in first place as a 3-star at these top positions. Linebackers, one we have to go to as well. Got a lot of outside linebackers there. And then athletes listed at middle linebacker. That might be the route to go. We know how good these athletes can pop in terms of their athleticism. Got 29 targets right now. John Charles. That guy needs to go to Kalispell. I haven't added too many. Oh, I added a bunch of athletes listed at other spots there. I got 32. That's a pretty good place to begin. So I know it's not going to be easy to get the 5-star guys. I don't really need to scout them. Anybody who's a 5-star can easily come to Buffalo and play. So I'll start off by, or I didn't offer any 5s, but I have 4s. I should start off there by offering scholarships and seeing who we have a chance to get. I'm not going to scout the 4s. Of course, they're going to be good enough for us. But let's go, and I'm going to focus a lot on the offensive linemen here. I will scout 3s. But I kind of want to make sure I'm scouting the best ones. James Childs looks solid. I know I'm going to lose badly on some of these guys, so we just have to narrow it down after a week. That's not a lot of strength there. But the pass block power, run block power are solid. Yeah, it might be good to spend those coaching points too. Just, what am I doing with those 30 right now? I've put a lot into recruiter already. I am trying to scout linebackers a little bit more this year, so that's not a bad one to purchase. And O-line, increase starting interest. I have a feeling I'll need this one too. We'll increase the weekly hours for linebacker. Yeah, I'll probably save a lot of the rest for tactician. I do want to emphasize that a little bit more. Probably on the D-line primarily. Finesse move and block shed. And I think as well for the offensive line, we got to get stronger in the trenches. That much is clear. So I'll hold those for now, but they're probably going to tactician. I want to sort by national rank here so I can try to scout the highest overall players. Quick drop on Joel Treggs, 88 strength, 76 speed, and he's 304 pounds. '88 at linebacker. That's more speed than we've had. Antoine Gatto. We're going to offer to him. Soma Ojinaka. No gems yet, but 88 speed, good receiving skills. I do like what I see there. I'm going to skip over safety. I want to get a lot of these linebackers scouted. No. Probably going to remove Barry Rhodes. JUCO, bust. Not a good combo. Gems, Steven Daniels. There's one. Okay, 3-star guard then. Oh, it popped up that ability slot there. I guess it went to mental. Winning time. Yeah, looks decent. Yeah, I'll offer. Power guard, Darren Woodhead. Not the fastest guy there, but could be a good fit. I'm going to mostly try to offer scholarships now to more like slam dunk players. Like gems. .88 speed. Really good tackling. 70 block shed. Ooh, good mental abilities too on Eric Johns. Now, let me get an athlete at running back here scouted too. Ah, come on. But the ratings don't look bad. I only have 30 points left. Here's quarterback Dwayne Yearby. Yeah, I'm not sure I like the idea of adding a quarterback who would be... well, I mean, not that he couldn't develop into a backup or something like that, but like I don't need quarterback. Do I want to add somebody who already has like the bust label? Yep, there will be a recap of this if you want to watch a shorter form video that talks about all the cool stuff that's gone down here in this stream. We always do that. So let's see if any of those 4 stars look at all obtainable. Well, seeing that competition doesn't make me feel too good. It's doable if you go all in. I might have to pick my spots carefully. Again, only 350 hours. Maybe I pick 2 to go all in on. And maybe Max Wall isn't one of them because I just don't see me winning that battle. But like Dorian Henry only has 3 offers right now. Maybe that's the one we can get in on. Proxtahoma is already a good fit for Dorian Henry. He only has 3 offers, and they're not from massive schools. Michigan State's a big one, but Bowling Green, Toledo are in the same conference as us. I'm going to choose to go at least 50, I'd say, on Dorian Henry. Already 9+ offers here for Labinjo. We can't even crack the top 9. I know when I'm not going to win that battle. I could try for Burns. He's a little bit lower ranked, but those are all Power Force schools that are recruiting him. Henry's the best fit, though, that's for sure. Unless Michigan offers, then it's scary. Maybe we can try for Burns. Does he have a deal breaker? Proximity to home. That's kind of like the good place for us to start, is picking teams that are picking players that at least have a deal breaker that we know is going to be good for us. We've done that now. And all these players have proximity to home, actually. That's all the 4s. It's a very common deal breaker here we're seeing. It's the only one we're seeing. Okay, not only. Yeah, if we could find those 4-stars that want, like, we need a 4-star that wants to stay close to home with good academics. That would be the ultimate fit. But I think it's going to be mostly a 3-star focused deal again as we try to build this program up and attract the 4s down the road. Yeah, I don't feel like losing James Childs to Temple. I'm not sure how many points I want to put into everybody right now, so I'm just kind of throwing some here or there. Yeah, and Joel Treggs is going to be a big priority because he's an athlete, and he's just a freaky lineman. And then already 68 for Antoine Gatto. That makes him an excellent developmental linebacker, multi-year starter. I like OG Naka. I might focus a bit more on him later because running back is not like a priority. I'm focused mainly on offensive line and linebacker at the moment. Not going to be the flashiest class, but it's the guys that let the flashy guys stand out better. And I might scout the other quarterback here, Babineau, quick. Ooh, 88 with Magician. Yeah, I think Kevin Babineau is really solid. I expect a lot of teams to want him. Already 2 offers. Offer to Nathan Hill. Just stopping in while at work. Excited to watch later and see what's in store. Any thoughts about the Lions from Sunday night for a Lions fan? They still look really good. You know, I'm really impressed with what they've done the last handful of years, and their offense with Ben Johnson has kind of been one of the talks of the NFL. And, you know, Montgomery looked good. Jamison Williams looked great. And if he has a big season, it's going to be one of the most dangerous offenses in the league, especially with that line and what you can do with the kind of playmakers they have. One of the best, you know, just slot route running receivers. You could have a dynamic deep threat, and Gibbs can do a lot of stuff with Montgomery. Then can punish you when you focus too much on, you know, defending the big play. It's just a well-built team in so many ways. Yeah, the high strength guys definitely stand out to me as well. Mainly when they're interior guys, because that's, you know, the guys who make or break your run game usually. But it's not the end all be all. Okay, so I've gotten no points into tackles yet. I need to find the tackle to put points into. On the flip side of that, though, low strength, like, terrifies me. But it can get better. I think it's just that visual drop of going from the 80s into the 70s. If it were 82, I'd be like, yeah, it's low. But I see 79 and I'm like, ooh, that's really low. And it honestly is. Like, think about it. 0 through 69 are probably not even used. So 79 is on the low end. But I do need to just get more players there developing. And I can't be extremely picky. But I feel like I might like Nathan Hill a bit more because the strength is better. And although they're very different linemen, I'm going Nathan Hill. I can't get over it. Max Wall is the perfect name for a left tackle. I know. It's unbelievable. I wish it were more realistic to try to get him, but like the entire Big Ten is already there, and he's living in Big Ten country, so he'll be going to Michigan or Ohio State probably. And yeah, any other gems that I uncovered, which weren't many, also need points. Always a good call there. Do I miss any gems? Yeah, Rust. I know 5 ain't much there. Hey, I got more points to play with than last year. That's what's important. I got 50 on those 4s just to see if there's even a chance. That battle's not even getting off the ground yet, so I'm okay just sticking 5 there and coming back to it. The other battles are just more developed, so I feel like I need points on those guys more. Maybe I'll drop Gatto to like 25 and then even it out a tad. Maybe this year you focus on a smaller class, maybe 8 to 12 players, and hit the portal harder. Might have a chance at a 4-star lineman. It really comes down to how our run game looks, because the reason why I couldn't get any running backs or linemen in the portal last year is because of our play style. So if we aren't running the ball well, our only way of improving that is going to be high school recruiting. So like the guards with power are like a high priority. That needs rushing yards per game. And if I can't actually get us those yards, the portal ain't coming to save the day. Most of the players that enter the portal are doing so because of playing style. So that's kind of like my new thing I'm going to get focused on. Can you afford to have 8 to 12 players if you have 28 seniors? No. I'm going to have to still probably get at least 15. And I'm sure I'll be able to do more than that once you factor in the portal. But as we're playing the year, I need to keep in mind, like, okay, we're passing the ball well. I know the portal is going to be good for receivers. Like, the let's go to receiver situations, like deep threats. We're an A. So, like, that's why the receivers wanted to come here. So, if I just go into playing style and I'm thinking about this all the year, I'm going to have an idea of what players in the portal are actually interested and what players aren't. So, I think that's a really helpful way to look at it. Pass protector archetype cares about sacks allowed. That is a center and tackle. Oh, there is a guard one as well. Okay. It really depends on what archetype you want. But I was an F in pass protector, taking 40 sacks last year with a bottom tier run game. So for none of the offensive linemen does passing yards matter. It is rushing yards. It is sacks. Love this series. Would you ever consider doing an NFL 2K5 series? I don't know. I would like to experiment more with different side projects, but I've been so invested in doing the Saint stuff lately. I haven't like explored. Like I want to have time always dedicated to just kind of like what I would consider to be the R&D equivalent of what I do here, and that's to like play old games and see what even has potential and to maybe work on something as a bit of a pilot to see if it could even be a series. But right now, that extra time is going into this Viking rebuild that is coming out Friday. If you missed that earlier, I have been doing a Vikings rebuild. It's just going to be one video, but it's going to be on Friday. It's going to be an hour-long plus of me rebuilding the Minnesota Vikings. And I haven't really done too many videos where I do these full-on rebuilds, especially in like one shot. You don't have to watch 5-hour-long videos to get the experience. It's going to be one. So dipping my toes in that. And then still the Saints franchise project has been like sizable enough to where I'm not messing around on other games right now to experiment. Like a Bengal style rebuild video, I'd say it's in that spirit, but it is edited. So you're not watching me in like real time do all the moves and like talk about it. You're getting me recapping everything that happened, but I'm skipping over all the stuff that doesn't matter, basically. If that makes sense. So it's just a little disappointment. Or I was reading the word disappoint. It's just a little experiment. Yeah, I mean, there's stuff to definitely like about the older NFL games, whether it's Madden or 2K. I would say it's possible, but for a large-scale series, I'd have to really be wowed. And ultimately, I got to make something that a bunch of people want to see, and usually that is the newest games. And yeah, there still could be some Tim Cannon streams, but it just hasn't been a priority lately with all the other stuff. So hopefully I can return to Tim Cannon again and still do what I wanted to do there. I wanted to finish out his career and then do like a super episode for the second channel, either 1 or 2 that cover his entire career. I was only 50 minutes in, had to skip to live. Don't use recommended in recruiting. Yeah, it does not show everybody. So I do look at it for a short list, but then I go kind of position by position or by star to find the more broad scope of the recruiting class. 2K My GM. I don't know what's going to happen, honestly, in the fall, because I'm not married to the idea of anything on Madden this year. If I were to ever take like a year off from even doing a full-on series, this would probably be the year, just because not a lot has changed. And even in the rebuild department, like the sim engine hasn't changed significantly. I don't know that doing my Vikings rebuild has made me want to like, it just doesn't feel very fresh. And there's a lot of the same issues with the sim engine that I think hold back the experience and kind of make rebuilds feel more samey. It feels like it's not as dynamic as it could be. Like, how often do you have practice squad players that break out into actual like contributors? Not very often, because of the way the progression system works and how all that's tied together. And so it feels less dynamic and less interesting to just run it back over and over again. What's wrong with my GM? I know when I played 2K back on 19 for the Surf series, I loved it. I thought it was great. And I'd love to revisit 2K when I feel I have the time to dedicate. I don't know what this fall looks like for me, because on the second channel, I want to wrap up MLB in October. I want to see where the Miami series goes. But what's the next thing there until baseball season? I don't know. I know I definitely, enough time has passed to where I'm interested in playing 2K again. I feel like I'm more into the NBA now, especially with the Timberwolves actually being watchable. So I guess there's a chance that 2K could come to the second channel again. But yeah, I do my league because my league is awesome. Golf series. I enjoyed it, but I felt like I probably went on too long. Like the interest in that died pretty quickly. What I would probably do on 2K, I know you can like watch games play, but I feel like I could start to get the hang of playing 2K. Going at it again. I think I learned a few things, but one thing I would do that would definitely be different is true shot percentage shooting. I wouldn't even bother with the meter because, you know, I only care about ratings when I'm playing franchise, really. So when I'm pitching in MLB, I don't have a meter. I don't have pinpoint pitching. I hit the button, and the ratings tell you where the pitch is going to go. And if I do 2K again, true shot percentage in the settings. Has to be. I don't want no meter. True shot, field goals, everything. What do you say we get a little look at our new quarterback here? Oh, yeah, I should check those 4-star players just to see. You know, I'm probably not going to recruit anymore today because I want to practice and then I want to go eat. But we're locked out here for Wall and Gent. As expected, I didn't put points into those guys. But I did put points into a couple other 4-stars. 4th place for Dorian Henry. 3rd place for John Burns. Do we have a chance at a big O-line upgrade? We'll see. I just want to see how competitive these other battles are that we're invested in. What about Super Mega Baseball? I have had some thoughts about Super Mega Baseball. I don't think I would do a massive series, but I could see me doing something more abbreviated. But like baseball content really doesn't do that well on YouTube outside of baseball season, and we're more at the end of that. I play so much the show that I'd have to probably do it just before the show and do it in a smaller scale. But what I think would be fun would be to like go through all the baseball series I've done, including Road to the Show, and like create a team of like the best players that I had from you know, like draft classes and everything. So you'd go back to the Twins and have like Maxwell Fowler, you'd have Joe Michael from the A's, like build my all-star team and do something on Super Mega Baseball that way. NFL head coach. Yep, I'd like to revisit it. I picked it up on 360 because I do not want to play the PS3 version again. It runs like molasses. So head coach could definitely return. It's been years. Like, when was my last head coach video? I'm actually really curious if it's been... I know I've done it since I moved, so it's not 5 years. I've been in Texas now for almost 5 years. But I was doing head coach at my previous place. March 19th, 2021. 3.5 years. A reunion's definitely needed at some point. I'm sure I've tightened up so many things that would make head coach content better. How many years a dominant Mac before Buffalo goes Big Ten? When it starts to feel too easy. Whenever that is. Especially if we're getting 4- and 5-star players at some point. If it starts to feel too easy and that these games aren't worth it, then we make the move. I want to practice. I want to see our new quarterback in action. Of course, that bug still exists where the practice tab is just not there. Saints. Still working on it. I'm planning on doing a bunch of the editing for it this weekend. I'm going to see how far I can get in the next week and think about when I want to roll it out, because I don't want to start posting the videos until I'm confident I can get you all of them in a short amount of time. So I'm talking like probably 2-3 episodes a week, and I'm not going to start posting them until I'm there. It's not going to be as many episodes as like a lot of my other series because I just have a different plan for how it's going to go, like what's in each episode. But I do want to make sure it's uploaded pretty quickly. But I've been working on it. I am excited about it, and some of you have noticed the teases in a couple episodes this past year. Just something to think about. This is a good year to get back into 2K. It's almost as good as 16 was. What makes a good 2K? I'm really curious because I don't know that the gameplay changes a lot or that the features for offline change a lot. Like, if you're a franchise player, isn't it pretty much like a little bit better every year? Like, what makes a 2K good or bad? Because I know the community is allowed when they are unhappy with things. And I'm not into the like the my career and the online space, so like all of that's pretty irrelevant to me. Yeah, the monetization's always pretty rough. You know, I've seen what's happened with my player, where, especially if you're playing online stuff early, my issue with the way they handle my player is, like, your player is not even like an NBA caliber player when you start. I'm not even sure your player is a G League caliber player. But this, everybody, is Richie Watts, this year's quarterback. We could also see a little bit of Elway here in practice, but Richie Watts is our starter this season. He's got the best ratings by far. It's too close to even have a battle. The ratio of impact of ratings versus badges is big for me. That makes a lot of sense. Now you're speaking my language a bit more. Not that I fully understand badges. I think that's become more of a big thing in the last like 5-8 years or so, and I've only played like 19. Man, I feel like no one's open. You know, his ratings are close enough to Gunnar Gray to where I feel like it's going to feel almost like the same quarterback. His arm isn't nearly as strong. Kevin Kajust. We got some new receivers out there to take a look at. There's Shetron, who can't catch that ball. An 85 overall Lamar Sperling. Yeah, I'm not sure his release is as quick as Gunner's. It's not slow. I feel like Gunner's arm talent's a bit better, but in most throws, it probably won't really be noticeable. Yeah, let's do some more high passes. So I started doing a lot of those more late in the year because when you throw them high, they're so much more likely to be caught by your player and a lot less likely to be intercepted. So those 50-50 balls, it's, you know, you're not really risking the interception as much, and it's a lot easier to keep the ball out of harm's way. Now, I do want to incorporate more of those 50-50s. Like in that last game, like I was taking, you know, different one-on-one chances, but I was mostly doing it when like something wasn't opened that I preferred to throw. Maybe like there was one route I was counting on, it wasn't open. So now I'm just like, where do I have single coverage? I'm going to throw it to that guy. Like I felt like the shots I was taking, you know, not all the time, but felt like good decisions. Yeah, I'll probably make some changes to the playbook. There are some formations that I don't like to use, and every year I'm like, yeah, just get me out of this, and I find like 20 new plays I'm a big fan of and I want to try out. So yeah, Richie Watts is about what I expected. Very close to the Gunnar Gray experience, which is just fine. There you go. See, that's a high throw. Keep the ball out of harm's way. I probably won't do playbook stuff today. I'm nearing the end of the stream. I'm getting pretty hungry right now. But I did want to see at least a little bit of Watts and a little bit of Elway. And there's a good deep ball. Let me get Elway in there and see what he feels like to play with. Maybe a new play. Yeah, I did like the new passing mechanics. I just feel like the settings I have with placement are more ratings based. I went into practice mode and I tried out a bunch of throws, and I was getting a lot more accuracy variance playing on placement. So I felt like it was a better fit for the way I like to do Dynasty. All right. Elway is in. He does have the ability to run around a little bit, but he's not like a playmaker there. It's more like he can extend the play, break the pocket, and throw on the move. But we're getting destroyed up front here. Yeah, I imagine Pacheco will still get some playing time, maybe a bit more this season, especially now that he's even better. Can probably trust him to throw a little bit more often. Not that I really did it often at all. Ooh. There we go. A little play extension here. And then, ooh, tried to aim it there, but I haven't really used that mechanic a whole lot. There, that's better. They nerfed running back spin moves in one of the updates. With Sperling now as an 85, it feels a little bit more like the pre-nerf on the spin. Just on the first couple times I've gotten to use him. Yeah, he's not outrunning too many players right now. Not in a fair foot race at 78 speed. Let's see. Let's go to one of the formations I added a bunch of plays with last year. It is wing. This might not be my playbook. Yeah, this is, I think, their default playbook. Definitely. Yeah, I'm hoping for a big Season 3 leap. It happened for me back in my Kalispell series, and I think it has a chance to be a pretty good year 3 this time around. The roster top to bottom is just a little bit better. In some areas of the team, it's a lot better. And we got to start, playing more close games against good teams. We have to stop the run. If we can improve our run defense and, find ways to still improve offensively, like getting our run game more where I wanted it to be. If the run defense is better, if the offense and defense is better in the running game, I feel like that's going to be able to get us to a 6-win bowl-eligible season, which is the goal this year, to finally go play that first bowl game. I think from what we lost last year, we have adequate replacements with Watts replacing Gray, Pajus replaced by Camarda and his development. Like, I think we gained a lot more than we lost. Like, we didn't have a player like Kajus last year that could be that dynamic with how much better he should be this season. The D-line has so many more impressive run stoppers. The cornerbacks return. Like, I just don't see an area on this team that looks like it's going to be worse. So we're going to see more of Elway, of course, maybe in some garbage time in games this year, should we have some, but not on a full-time basis until the year after. Let's see Eric Pacheco now, because there could be packages for him that makes sense. And he's our backup quarterback now. So here is Eric Pacheco. Nice accurate ball there. Ooh. His arm got stronger. He developed really decently from year 1 to year 2. But with Pacheco, you have to remember his caps are pretty limiting. So he's not going to get a whole lot better than where he is now. He got probably more development from year 1 to year 2 than he's going to see maybe even the rest of his career. But he does do this. All right, so a content schedule, what you can expect here in the coming days. Tomorrow, MLB The Show with the St. Louis Cardinals. We got playoff baseball. And we are going to have the Vikings rebuild I did. That video is going to be coming out on Friday. And then over the weekend, I would expect probably more baseball. And if I have the time, the edited version of the offseason. Oof. Yeah, there is a coaching tree that can raise skill caps. I don't know about removing them, and I don't think I have easy access to it. That's probably something I wouldn't even invest in right now, just to make like Pacheco a more useful player, because he's still, you know, limited, and his arm strength is done getting better, and you'd want to both get him more accurate and a stronger arm. So I don't see me doing anything with that until much later in the series. Red shirts, pretty much anybody that's eligible, but I don't have to set red shirts right now. I can always, you know, like just not play players, and then the red shirt decisions can be made later, but no true freshmen are expected to contribute. The freshmen that did contribute last year will have even more roles this season, and there just isn't anybody that stands out as a day one contributor. Estimate on the first episode of season 3? I would say, let's see, edited off season is next on this channel. I could see game 1 Monday or Tuesday. I gotta get the edited off season up first. I don't know, there could be even a double upload if I can get enough done this weekend. Because the MLB video I have going up tomorrow doesn't need a whole lot more time. The Vikings, not the franchise, but the Vikings rebuild, that video is mostly done. And then the edited off season shouldn't be like a huge project, so I would expect Monday or Tuesday still, but we'll see. Next Miami video. For Miami, I would probably say Monday or Tuesday of next week. Just because right now, like, I'm getting into a playoff series in MLB. So I want to make sure, like, those videos are uploaded close together. And then this Viking rebuild I'm doing, that is just kind of like an extra thing I've been working on, but I felt like that was more of a second channel video. I guess it could be a main channel video. It doesn't really matter a ton, but that might delay Miami a day or two. Just doing the cards so I can make sure that the ALDS is up in full, plus that Viking video. Could we see a series like that Lions 5-year sim rebuild? That's effectively what the Viking video will be. but it's not going to be like 5 1-hour videos. It's going to be one video that is over an hour, but it cuts out a lot of the stuff that doesn't make any, isn't super crucial. And tells a little more concise story. So that is going to do it for the offseason, everybody. Another one in the books. I appreciate y'all coming out here on this Wednesday evening. I can't believe it's already been 3 hours plus. It does not feel like it. Feels like maybe an hour and a half, but time flies for me when I stream. It's wild. Like, I'm doing what I would have normally been doing anyway. Just sitting here, commentating, making content. But 3 hours of streaming just flies by. Enjoy hanging out with all y'all. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button and leave a like. There's more Buffalo coming. We're building up this program. We've gone from a 1-star to a 0-star, back to a 1-star, and our goal this year is to go to a bowl game. And of course, if we go, I want to win. Have a great night, everybody. I will see you. I already laid out a lot of the content I have here coming up, and there should be a lot to enjoy this week. And I hope you guys look forward to and enjoy that Viking video. Have a great day, everybody. Catch you in the next one.